Before we begin, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell because tonight's story proves a single pizza box can change a life. Stay with us. For Officers Michael and Peter, the afternoon patrol felt like the same quiet chapter of the city. Lunch coming up, a soft breeze, and people scattered along the sidewalks. They drove this beat enough to know who usually slept where and who needed a check-in. On this route, the city's most visible neighbors were those with no roof over their heads. As they rolled by one sun-baked block, Peter scanned the pavement and then nudged Michael. "Look," he said. A young woman sat a few steps from a cluster of shelterless women, clutching a backpack and reading a book like it was the only thing holding her steady. Something about her looked wrong for that place. Too clean, hair groomed, clothes not ragged. She didn't fit the usual patterns. Michael thought maybe she was a volunteer or an outreach worker. They planned to step out and ask, but their radio crackled with a theft call a few blocks away. Duty pulled them away, and the moment passed. The woman, later introduced to the men as Manny, shut her book and wiped her face, relieved the officers hadn't approached. She stayed, small and invisible amid the people the city often ignored. The next day, the officers came back. There she was again. This time, Michael noticed her watching an old man eat a turkey sandwich, staring as if the sandwich belonged to her imagination. The man shifted away, embarrassed. Manny lowered her head and began to cry. Peter, who had a niece the same age, felt his chest tighten. They pulled the cruiser over. She dropped a thin blanket from her pack and lay down, trying to sleep. A few minutes later, the officers approached slowly. Manny, startled, sat up, and her fear was immediate. "Are you here to arrest me? Are you going to go through my things?" she asked, voice trembling. Michael set a pizza box gently in front of her. "No, we noticed you looked hungry," he said. "Here, it's for you." She wouldn't accept it at first. Years of shame and fear had taught her to expect rejection or worse. The officers understood. They didn't want to force thanks. So they left the box, gave a quick, warm nod, and drove away. For Michael and Peter, it was a small gesture, a quietly human thing they did sometimes. For many, that pizza was a lifeline. Days later, she was gone, disappeared into the city and off the officers' radar. Months and years passed. Michael and Peter moved on in their careers, but kept the same patrol routines. Then, one sleepy afternoon, years later, the pair saw a sleek black car pull up on the same stretch, the kind of fancy arrival that usually meant a charity drop or a local cameo. Only this time, the person stepping out was someone they already knew. The woman from the pavement, now neatly dressed, hair groomed, wearing a calm confidence, walked toward them. Peter squinted. "Aren't you the girl we saw here years ago?" he asked. It took a beat, then the woman smiled and told them her name, Manny. She told them the story of a week that had turned her life upside down. A bus ride to the city for college, luggage and phone stolen the first day, no friends, nowhere to call, and a feeling that she didn't belong. People stared because she was overdressed for a homeless person. Photographers even snapped photos as if she were a curiosity. She'd been too scared to ask for help. Michael and Peter listened, and they shared the quiet disappointment of officers who knew too well how suspicion can replace compassion on both sides of the badge. But Manny's voice had a steady tone now. "When you left that pizza," she said, "I ate, and for once I could think. I found a shelter, borrowed a phone, called my parents, and eventually made it through. That day got me to university. I worked, I studied, and now I'm a doctor." The officers were stunned. A small kindness had become the hinge on a life. Manny reached into her bag and pulled out a neatly wrapped apple pie. "For you," she said. Michael laughed.
pizza for pie? I could have bought you 2 pizzas if I'd known." Minnie smiled and tapped the box. Under the pie, she had tucked a travel brochure and a thin envelope.
Inside the envelope was a note and a lucky map. The map she'd bought when she daydreamed of becoming a doctor and traveling the world. "Pick any place," she told them, eyes bright. "I want to sponsor a trip, an all-expenses visit for you and your families. You gave me hope when I needed it." The men who had expected nothing found themselves speechless and deeply moved. There's something about this day that reminds us how invisible kindness can be. For Michael and Peter, it had been a small, routine check-in. For Minnie, it had been a lifeline that led her to education, to work, and to rebuilding a life. And years later, she used her success to honor that moment, to give back to the hands that had reached out in a tiny human way. The story isn't about who was right or wrong. It's about the human threads that run through a city: fear, shame, dignity, and the things that help pull people back. Small acts of care, a pizza, a nod of understanding, quietly ripple across someone's life. If this moved you, share the story.